Good evening. Thank you. My name is David Okon, and welcome to my channel. And thank you for your help. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching my video. You have been really doing fantastic things. We are not very many yet, but the few who are actually doing something with this channel are doing fantastic job. They are so committed. They are so productive. They are giving me, a lot of people are giving me positive feedback. I'm so happy with what you're doing. And I think this is a great channel, and it's new. We're 2 months old, but we are doing fantastic things with this channel. We are actually seeing a lot of information. This channel is very educational. It's actually teaching me. I'm the one presenting over this channel, but every time I actually speak to you on the video, I learn more. I hope I'm not learning more than you. Speaking, I do speak, and you'll be surprised how much I learn in the process of speaking, teaching myself, because it helps me to focus on things I know, which I would lose, because it's in my head, because it helps me to think. It's a great source of power to me, and I hope to you. I mean, it's up to you. I really encourage you to commit to this channel, participate in it, and I've been talking about the cost of living in different ways, and you'll be surprised how the cost of living can feature in our lives in different ways, in some really surprising ways. You can think of the cost of living as being money. If you're in the UK, if you're in America, Canada, in the developed world, it's so easy to think of the cost of living as being money given by the government to you. And it suffices it to say that the government doesn't necessarily give money to everyone. You can have your money and spend it as much as you like. But be reminded that the government does not give money to everyone. Not necessarily. If you work and earn good money, then you're doing the right thing. Because the primary source of income, and like I said before, the cost of living is associated with income. That is why I'm talking about Amazon. Amazon is about shopping. And I also talk about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. And Jeff Bezos represents wealth. Amazon represents wealth and power. And that's a good thing. And I'm inviting viewers to actually learn how to make money. Make as much money as Amazon. Make as much money as Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon. Amazon, some people pronounce it Amazon. It's a fantastic space. I mean, it's just a great platform. It's probably the biggest digital retail outlet in the world. Created by Jeff Bezos. Watch my other videos. If you have time, watch my other videos to follow this discussion. I chose to talk about Jeff Bezos because he began at an early age of childhood and built Amazon from scratch. He built his wealth also from scratch. He was still young. When he left university, he started business straight away. I mean, he started work, but he progressed very quickly into being an entrepreneur and now a global imperial business entrepreneur because he owned one of the biggest business empires. Jeff Bezos is an emperor. He is an emperor because he owned an empire, business empire. He's a business emperor. He has so much power, and he is somebody you can actually admire. You can admire. You can learn from Jeff Bezos. You can learn from Amazon. You can actually spend a lot of time doing a study, be an expert. Jeff Bezos being an expert on Amazon. Amazon is so rich. I'm going to look at wealth, the wealth of Amazon, the wealth of Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos and Amazon is almost the same because you cannot talk about Amazon without talk about Jeff Bezos. You cannot talk about Jeff Bezos without talk about Amazon. That's why the title of this video is Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and the cost of living. And the cost of living is relevant because people like Jeff Bezos create wealth. They control wealth also. And if they decide certain class of people should not get much money, they can do it. And my argument within this dispensation has been that it is actually the super rich who are creating wealth for the super poor. For some kind of reason, I think they are mistaken because the world is enough. Some people think the world is not enough, but the world is enough actually for everyone. Their resources may be finite, but with technology, which actually Jeff Bezos is investing, Jeff Bezos is actually investing in technology. If technology matures, we are going to be infinitely monetized, wealthy. Everybody will be wealthy anyway with technology. If we implement technology without violence, if we learn our cultural economy, and also learn our technological, developmental, and entrepreneurial side of the progress. If we learn both culture and the other developmental progress, if we combine the two, we are going to achieve peace. And if we achieve peace and harmony, we are going to be happy. I mean, if you do something and it doesn't make you happy, then it's work in progress. It doesn't mean you should give up because you're sad. I mean, some wealthy people are really miserable. We can despise them if we want, but that is not our mission. Our mission is actually to learn how they make wealth and to support them to learn something else, the cultural system, the cultural resources, cultural infrastructure, cultural education. We as a society should be culturally educated. Without a doubt, we should be culturally literate. That means respecting ourselves and respecting others. That means valuing human life more than anybody else. Because once we begin to value our lives and value the life of other people, we wouldn't have a Ukraine-Russia situation. We wouldn't have America going to fight, throw bombs and guns, living dangerously in the Middle East or in Africa or in other parts of the world. Israel would not be fighting, is it Hezbollah or whoever they are, Palestinians. The Middle East would be more peaceful if we had respect. Because we are disrespectful, we are culturally uneducated, we are so illiterate culturally. That's why even if we are so rich, even if we are so powerful now, it's the globe. Even if we are so learned, it's the globe. Everybody's almost, I mean, you can't speak to somebody as if they don't know anything. Because everybody knows almost everything except self-respect, except the culture is missing. It's almost missing. We are almost culturally bankrupt as a society. And I've been pursuing this theme in this project, in this process. And I've been mentioning this idea about cultural economy over and over and over again because I think it's really important that people begin to value humanity more than material wealth. Money, I value money. I value material wealth because the cost of living is more impactful now because we don't look after each other as a community. And because we are so unaware how to look after ourselves, how to look Some people don't even bathe, even if there's plenty of water in Britain. Literally, you go onto a train, a bus, and some people are so smelly, they don't really even brush their teeth. There are no shortage of toothbrush and equipment there. I know there is a problem with dentistry now because of the government closing down dentistry because of political illiteracy. So the government doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, the government doesn't know what it is doing. Politicians are clueless about welfare system, which is actually medical support is missing, employment support is missing, income support like is missing. You know, transport, public transport is missing. It's becoming more and more expensive to travel on public transport. Train is becoming impossible almost to travel on, and that is not acceptable because that is the product of political illiteracy by politicians. Politicians should learn to value human life. Politics is important, but human life is more important than politics. That is also the product of cultural illiteracy. Politicians should be the first to go to school in their homes, because schools, as we know it, do not teach cultural literacy. They don't even know what it is. All you have to teach is people to be respectful to themselves in reality, not in pretense. It's not about being nice. You can be nice when you are a monster, pretending to be a nice person. And you don't know anything. I don't know anything. I am as ignorant as you are. The difference between me and you, I know it is a problem which needs solving. If you know cultural illiteracy is a problem needing solving, leave a comment below and actually join me in the process. Let us advocate for cultural economy. And everybody needs to be educated, even if you are King Charles. King Charles needs cultural learning so that he can begin to use some of the resources the royal family has to help people, or the people of Britain. People of Britain do not deserve to be poor. They need to access dentistry. They need to access healthcare. They don't. Because if you go to a dentist now, you cannot register as a government patient, National Health Service patient. You will be rejected. You will be rejected, and even if you are actually registered, you cannot be treated. You are going to be bogged down on a long waiting list because there is no money. The government has privatized the health service, including dentistry, and actually refused to pay these people to provide services. They pay them, yes, but they, in turn, what they do, they invest this money into capital investment and infrastructure because that is wealth for themselves. Dentistry, private health service, private healthcare service, wherever they operate, the government gives them money, yes, but the money is not spent on services. These health are actually, this money is spent to build capital. I will be repeating this point without apology. I'm not apologizing for it. Because people of this country should know it. It doesn't matter how many times I have to really repeat this point, I will. People should really listen to it. If they don't want to listen, no problem. I will just keep speaking about it. We need the government to change direction. Fundamentally, I predict that the Labour Party is going to come into power in Britain next year, according to opinion poll. Anything is bound to happen. The Conservatives may be re-elected next year. If they do, then they should start listening to this video. the prime minister, ministers, and member of parliament should listen to my video and spend more money on frontline service and actually start regulating private companies who are receiving public money, and specifically give more money to this organization. They should spend money, invest in on infrastructure, right? They should also invest in capital. That is all right, but the rest of the money should be spent. There should be enough money for frontline services. Otherwise, if the government don't do this quickly, people will start dying. People are now dying in the hospital, on wheelchairs, on beds. There's a lot of negligence in the hospital because the staff cannot do anything. They're so frustrated. It's like there's a conspiracy by the government. There's an ideological insanity. And that's also down to cultural illiteracy. And it has to stop. I'm looking at Amazon. I'm looking at Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon. I'm looking at its wealth. I have a table here. I will try to go through it. I don't know how it's going to go. Talk about the wealth of Jeff Bezos and Amazon. The annual estimates of Jeff Bezos' net worth. Leave a comment below if you know what net worth is. After all the other deductions are made. That is pure wealth. It doesn't have anything. It's just real wealth of Jeff Bezos. So annual estimate of Jeff Bezos' net worth. That is the net wealth of this man. I have a table in front of me here. We have the years. We have the level of billions of his wealth measured in billions, US billions. We have how the wealth have been changing over the years. From year to year, his wealth has been changing. Sometimes going up, sometimes going down. And we have respective years, again, and billions and change, and so on and so forth. That is actually the behavior of Amazonic wealth indicators. The dynamics of his wealth performance, if you like, if there's anything like that. So we're looking at 1999. So what happened in 1999? Jeff Bezos at 10.1 billion in 1999. If you were born in 1999, leave a comment below. The change was negative, minus 0.0%. So in 2009, let's talk about 2000 first of all. Let's say 2000, okay? In 2000, a year after 1999, Jeff Bezos was worth 6.1 billion. He was worth 6.1 billion. His wealth had gone down by 40.5%. So let's look at 2001. What happened in 2001? Jeff Bezos' net worth in terms of billion was 2 billion actually. That is actually the behavior of his wealth, the dynamics of his wealth. In 2002, his wealth had reduced to 1.5 billion US dollar. It's a net worth. And it had gone down by 25%. So he lost wealth by 25%. So 2003, Jeff Bezos had 2.5 billion US dollar. So his wealth started going up in 2003, his wealth started going up. He had 2.5 billion US dollar. It had gone up by 66.6%. And in 2004, Jeff Bezos is 5.1 billion US dollar. And these went up dramatically by 104%. And in 2005, he had 4.1 billion. It went down. In 2004, in 2005, it went down. Actually, he was worth 4.1 billion. It went down by 19.6%. And in 2006, he was worth 4.3 billion. It went up by 5.1%. And in 2006, Jeff Bezos had a net worth of 4.3%. And he went up by 5.1%. And in 2007, he had 8.7%, 8.7 billion US dollar. And he had gone up by 102%, 2.3%. And in 2008, Jeff Bezos had 8.2 billion US dollar. And these had gone down by 5.7%. So his wealth has been going up and down. The media data shows actually Forbes world's billionaires estimates. So that's actually the source of the information. Additional references also Bloomberg Billionaires Index. These are actually the measure of wealth. And let us go through it anyway. And look at 2009, his wealth was reduced to 6.8 billion. Net worth down 17%, 17.1%. And in 2010, it had gone up to 12.6% by 85.3%. In 2011, it became 18.1%. I went up by 42.7%. And in 2012, he became 23.8 billion in net worth and going up by 28.2%. In 2013, Jeff Bezos was worth 28.9%, going up. His wealth is going up by 24.5%. In 2014, Jeff Bezos was 30.5 billion US dollar in net worth, going up by 5.5%. In 2015, Jeff Bezos was $50.3 billion, going up by 60.9%. And in 2016, Jeff Bezos was worth 45.2%. His wealth is going down by 10.91%. And in 2017, he went up to 72.8%, going up by 61.6%. And in 2018, Jeff Bezos was worth 112.0%, going up 53.8%. So this is the dynamics of his wealth. Bezos first became a millionaire in 1997 after raising 54 million through Amazon's initial public offering, IPO. So when he began to sell shares on to the public, the initial public offering, IPO, in Bezos' first journey into a millionaire actually echelon of wealth, is becoming a millionaire began in 1997. And he raised 54 million US dollar through Amazon's initial public offering, IPO. He began to sell shares to public in 1997, and he earned 54 million US dollar. He was first included on the Forbes World Billionaires list in 1999 with a registered net worth of $8.1 billion US dollar. That is in 1999, he became a billionaire. In 1999, he jumped ship, almost jumping ship to becoming a billionaire, $10.1 billion. It's like his dream coming true, and coming through also, and coming true as well. He's well plummeted even more the following year, dropping 66.6 percent to 2 billion. It came down to 2 billion, and he lost 500 million US dollar the following year, which brought his net worth down to 1.5 billion dollars. The following year, his net worth increased by 66% to 2.5 billion US dollar from 2005 to 2007. He quadrupled his net worth to 8.7 billion US dollar. And this is actually a summary of what took place with Jeff Bezos' well growth and decline dynamics, and after the financial crisis and succeeding economic recession, his net worth would decrease to 6.8 billion, a 17.7% droppage. Now, this is actually during the financial crisis, the credit crunch and all that. So he impacted on his wealth, reducing it to 6.8 billion. Now, if you are actually rich in a crisis, you lose a lot of money as a billionaire, a multi-billionaire, a net worth as a multi-billionaire. You eat economic crisis, a global economic crisis. You remain a multi-billionaire. Other people actually become homeless. That's the comparison. Other people in society, in a crisis like the cost of living, they become bankrupt. Totally, they just become penniless. They go on the street becoming homeless, and there are people who actually can't feed themselves at the moment. They cannot eat. They cannot heat their home and eat food. In winter is very cold if you don't live in the temperate zone of the world. This country is so cold. Europe and America, the northern hemisphere, the northern part of the globe is very cold, extremely cold. If you live in Africa, you live in somewhere called the tropics, where equator is. Equator is actually the center of the earth, of the planet Earth, because that's when temperature is most optimum. There's something called equinox, when the sun is directly above the Earth, and this condition only when the number of hours of day is actually exactly the same as the number of days at night. It's called equinox. And up in the equatorial belt, equatorial region of the world in Africa, incidentally, up in is Amazon as well. And Amazon also inspired Jeff Bezos to name his business Amazon, because Amazon has the richest source of natural resources in the world. Amazon, the biggest natural river in the world, the biggest tropical forest, tropical rainforest in the world is also Amazon. Because equator is equatorial zone, the best place on Earth in terms of life support. Support life in actually by the richest by the diversified part of the world is actually Amazon. The second one is actually in the Congo, in East Africa, East and Central Africa. The Congo Basin is actually the second largest tropical forest in the world, after only second to Amazon. Because of also equator also passes around the Congo and northern Brazil in Amazon, and also in Uganda, my country. Also, equator passes from my country. My country is one of the best countries in the world because of the equatorial region. So we have also a tropical rainforest, and also in Kenya, in East Africa, in Kenya also, we are blessed with the equatorial region. And so I don't know why I was talking about climate. The most optimum climate actually in the tropical region, in the equatorial region, and in the north we have extreme heat, cold, and also our summer is also becoming very hot at the moment. But I would rather have summer, which is very very warm, other than winter, which is really really cold, and you need heater, and you need gas and electricity to heat your home, and also to cook food. Also, people cannot afford it, and they are so poor that they need help with the government support, and which support I said at the outset of this video and elsewhere that is not really happening. The government is not helping people now. And Amazon's Jeff Bezos' wealth rose by 85% in 2010, and leaving him with 12.6 billion. This percentage increase ascended him to the 43rd spot on the ranking, from 68th. So measuring himself as a ruler of wealth estate, after a rumor broke out that Amazon was developing a smartphone, Bezos' net worth rose to $30.5 billion in 2014. That is his net worth. So this was actually a rumor was going around. Rumor was going around. It wasn't even proved. It was just a rumor that Amazon was actually developing a smartphone. Just a rumor. He made him so much money, and his wealth actually rose to $30.5 billion in 2014. A year later, Bezos entered the top 10 when he increased his wealth, his net worth, to a total of 50. I'm just spitting the same thing. 7 billion in a year. He actually gained. Bezos actually rose. He rose to be the 5th richest person in the world. Only hours before market close. He gained 7 billion in an hour. When is the last time you even earned 700 or 70 pounds? Some people earn 70 pounds an hour. Some people earn 700 pounds an hour. Some people earn even 7,000 pounds an hour. Some people earn 700 or 7,000, 70,000, 700,000, or 1 million, or 7 million, or 7 million an hour. But Jeff Bezos gained 7 billion US dollar in 1 hour, just before the market closed. So that made him the 5th richest person in the world. By the time the Forbes list was calculated in March 2016, his net worth was registered at 45.2 billion. However, just months later, in October 2016, his wealth increased by 16.5 billion to 66.5 billion, and officially ranking him the 3rd richest person in the world, behind Warren Buffett. That was in 2016, I think. Yeah, 2016. Warren Buffett was actually the second richest at that time. So after sporadic jumps in Amazon's share price in June 2017, he briefly unseated Microsoft's founder Bill Gates as the wealthiest person in the world. So in 2017, he became richer than Bill Gates. At that time, Bill Gates of Microsoft was the richest in the world. But Amazon Bezos became the richest. I think he says what? Unseated Microsoft founder. Briefly. Only briefly. In 2017, in July 2017, he briefly unseated Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates. is the wealthiest person in the world. That is really interesting. It's like a movie. It's like a really exciting movie. So the net worth of Jeff Bezos from 1999 to 2018 is estimated by Forbes magazine in the nominal US dollar. This is actually some of the commentaries. His net worth is calculated in the billions by March of each year, and Bezos would continue to sporadically surpass Gates throughout the month of October 2017 after Amazon's share price fluctuated. His net worth surpassed 100 billion US dollar for the first time on November 24th, 2017 after Amazon's share price increased by more than 2.5%. So when the 2017 list was issued, Bezos' net worth was registered at US dollar 72.5 billion, adding 27.6 billion from the previous years. So this is some of the statistics now actually indicating the dynamics and his net worth dynamics, and also the journey he made through the plane of wealth across his life across the globe. Bezos was officially ranked the third wealthiest person in the world, up from the fifth spot in 2016. The third wealthiest person in 2016. His wealth's rapid growth was from 2016 to 2017 sparked a variety of assessments about how much money Bezos earned on a controlled, reduced time scale. On October 10th, 2017, he made an estimated 6.27 billion in 5 minutes. 6.27 in October 2017. He earned an estimated he made an estimated 6.27 billion in 5 minutes, slightly less than annual gross domestic product of Kazakhstan. So the Kazakhstan was actually when he made money. If you know Kazakhstan, 6.25 billion was slightly less than the annual gross domestic product of Kazakhstan. Now you talk about gross domestic product. If you talk about net annual net domestic product of Kazakhstan, is probably the same with what Jeff Bezos earned in 2017 in 5 minutes. Now you talk about 1 year in Kazakhstan, and you also talk about Jeff Bezos earning a similar annual growth in Kazakhstan, gross domestic growth in Kazakhstan in 1 year. Jeff Bezos earning it in 5 minutes in 2017 in October 2017. In October the 10th, around 2017. On March 6, 2018, Bezos was designated the wealthiest person in the world with a registered net worth of 112 million US dollars. That is in 2018. In March on the 6th, he was designated actually the wealthiest person in the world with a registered net worth of 112 billion US dollar. That is really impressive. And he unseated Bill Gates, who was worth actually 90 billion US dollar, who was 6 billion ahead of Warren Buffett, being having a net worth. Warren Buffett having a net worth of 84 billion US dollar, ranking third. So these are actually the titans of the market economy of capitalism. It's actually the emperors. Warren Buffett. If you know Warren Buffett, leave a comment below and let me know what you think about Warren Buffett. He is considered the first registered centibillionaire not adjusted for inflation. Centi, I said it in the other video, that if something is centi, it means 100. So centi billionaire is billion is actually measured in hundreds. That is what centi means, centi billionaire. His wealth in 2017 up to 2018 terms equal that of 2.7 million Americans. So you talk about 2.7 million Americans. So his wealth in 2017, between 2017 and 2018 in a year, equaled that of 2.7 million Americans. Bezos' net worth increased by 33.6 billion from January 2017 to January 2018. So this man plays with money. His money is his best toys. In modern society we actually struggle to actually get £1. Some of us have to really struggle to get £1. This guy plays with money in billions of US dollar. This increase outstripped the economic development in GDP terms of more than 96 countries around the world. So if you compare his increase in wealth, as mentioned above, he actually earned more money than more than 96 countries around the world. And during March the 9th, Bezos earned 230,000 every 60 seconds. Now, if you make money per second, we make money per hour, and it is not 260,000 billion, 0.263 billion per second. Wow. That's a lot of money. I mean, it's so exciting. It's something I would like to try for myself. The motley fool, it's estimated that if Bezos had not sold any of his shares from its original public offering in 1997, his net worth would sit at 181 billion in 2018. So it would have been worth 181 billion if he did not sell off his shares in 1997. You wish. According to Quartz, his net worth of $150 billion in July 2018 was enough to purchase the entire stock markets of Nigeria, Hungary, Egypt, Luxembourg, and Iran. Luxembourg is in Europe. Hungary is also in Europe. Nigeria is in Africa. Iran is in the Middle East. Egypt is in Africa. Following the report by Quartz, Amazon's workers in Poland, Germany, and Spain participated in demonstrations and labor strikes to draw attention to his growing wealth and the lack of compensation, labor rights, and satisfactory working conditions of select Amazon workers. So there are some Amazon workers who are actually above other workers. There are and lack of compensation, labor rights, and satisfactory working conditions of select Amazon workers. So there is a problem with employment relations, labor relations within the Amazon, low pay, probably poor working condition. We discussed this in the other video. The video following this. On July 17, 2018, he was designated the wealthiest person in modern history by the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. I would suppose Fortune, Market Watch, the Wall Street Journal, and Forbes. These are actually registering wealth around the globe. In 2019, Bezos was actually his wealth was reduced by the divorce from his wife Mackenzie Bezos. According to Forbes, the Washington state common law applied to their divorce without a prenuptial agreement. Bezos' wealth could have been equitably divided with his ex-wife. However, she eventually received 25% of Bezos' Amazon shares, valued at approximately 36 billion, making her the third richest woman in the world. So, ex-wife, when she divorced her husband, Jeff Bezos, she became the third richest woman. Her worth um, increased enough to make her the third richest woman in the world. Bezos retained his interest in the Washington Post and Blue Origin, as well as voting control of the shares received by his ex-wife. In July 2019, Bezos purchased 3 adjoining apartments overlooking Madison Square Park in Manhattan, including a penthouse for a combined total of US$ 80 million, making this one of the most expensive real estate purchases within New York City in 2019. So now, he can shop. If you like shopping, you just read about him. I mean, even if you don't shop even if you don't shop at all, just if you like shopping, read about Jeff Bezos. In February 2020, Bezos purchased the Warner estate from David Geffen for 165 million US dollar, a record price paid for a residence in Los Angeles area. The previous record high price of 150 million was paid by Lachlan Murdoch for the Chatwell mansion. So this is comparison, the comparing billionaires by billionaire and their shopping habit. During the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, it was reported that Bezos' fortune had grown by 24 billion, citing a surge in demand from households on lockdown shopping on Amazon. So when the lockdown came, it actually prompted households, people began to shop, ordinary people, households, began to shop at Amazon because they were not allowed to go out. People were shopping online. So that actually was a bonanza. You could see that lockdown, potentially, if you think like ordinary people, you might think, lockdown was a conspiracy between the global government, world government, to enrich Jeff Bezos. Maybe Jeff Bezos even created COVID-19 so that he can make money. Possible. It's a conspiracy theory. Did Jeff Bezos created COVID-19 to make money? When COVID-19 began in 2019, that's why it is called COVID-19, because it started in 2019. That COVID is a type of COVID different from the other COVID. This is COVID-19. It started online in 19. And at that time, Jeff Bezos made actually $24 billion. $24 billion. Because of lockdown, because of COVID-19. Jeff Bezos made $24 billion because of COVID-19 and lockdown. Global lockdown, because people were shopping online. As simple as that. So he further expanded his residential holding in February 2022, purchasing a $16.13 million apartment at a 24-story boutique condominium located across the Madison Square Park in the Flatiron neighborhood, where he already owns all the units on the top floors. Bezos is the owner of the Y721, a luxury super yacht estimated to cost more than $500 million dollars, 0.5 billion actually, 0.5 billion US dollar. Once built, it will be the largest yacht in the world. Thank you for watching this video. This is sums up the wealth profile and also other information collected with Jeff Bezos. Thank you for watching this video. If you watched this far, subscribe to my channel. Don't go without subscribing if you have watched it this far. And thank you so much for everything you've done to support this channel. Thank you. Bye-bye.